Hi everybody, hi every spirit, welcome very much to my YouTube channel. Esoteric Cloud Surfer here, ready to talk about Pluto in astrology. Thank you very much for being here, your support is greatly appreciated. I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings and emotions, a whole bunch of individuality, creativity and responsibility as well. Remember to check the LinkTrees in the description down below to check more of mine and my beautiful partners various content as well. Let's go into it. So Pluto is the furthest away planet in our solar system, okay? And like Neptune, like Uranus, it's only a co-ruler, okay? So we don't completely feel its influence, but we feel it like, let's say 20%, okay? 20-30%, not much, but it's not little, okay? It's still present in our lives, but in a broader scale, okay, in a wider scale, right? And Pluto mainly is about transformation, all right? And transformation is like change, but in a deeper level. Either you changed a lot of things at the same time in your life, or that one thing that changed felt very deeply to you. It might not be very impactful in the world around you, but it can also be very impactful to you, and that leads to you transforming yourself, right? So, because it has something to do with transformation, we have to always associate it with death as well, because death is transformation, but not just physically dying, also transforming your mind state, transforming your emotional state, okay? Pluto is all about that, all right? And you must be the Pluto in your life, okay? You must be the one that brings transformation to yourself. And then that develops to another key word of Pluto, which is taking power and control over circumstances, situations, mindsets, emotional sets in your life, all right? And be careful, because depending on your Pluto alignment, or your Mercury or your Sun, how they are aligning with your Pluto or the Pluto in the sky, you might confuse your world with the world, and you might feel like the world is transforming you, and it might not. You're just associating too much with the external realm, or the other way around, you can be transforming forcibly others' worlds, and you don't need to do that. You transform your world, and then by default, that change, aka transformation, deeper change, will, by effect, by spreading the frequency and vibration, by people seeing you as an example, by people thinking and communicating about you and what you're doing and how you're doing it, you will change the world, okay? So because then a lot of people, like, that's actually how a lot of villains act in superhero movies, because they have this traumatic experience, right? And they try to transform the whole world, right? That's a wrong way to do it. But Pluto is all about that. Transformation, power, and control. And you should be always the one claiming power and control over your circumstances. And this also ties in with one of your spiritual powers, which is responsibility, the power of causality, you understanding and claiming the fact that you cause the events, the people, the places in your life. In your life, do not confuse with the world. Very important, because then through news or whatever, you might confuse and you might not see how you transform the world around you, because you are paying too much attention to the world, all right? So Pluto is at home, it rules Scorpio, all right? And because Scorpio, it's really about transformation. It's that 8th house, okay? So we like to transform ourselves in very private spaces, in very private places, and in very private relationships, all right? And then depending on what sign and planets do you have in the 8th house, you might actually expose yourself on your transformations, okay? It is like the right way, or it's the general way, the most natural way to go through our transformations is on a more private place, but it doesn't mean that necessarily you are already or that you have to do that, okay? Just keep that in mind. This is like naturally or more generally we transform in those circumstances. And mostly as well, we transform when we accumulate a lot and we fixate a lot ourselves in a feeling, in an emotion, in a desire, in a memory from the past, or an emotional state. And by default, you will transform yourself, your mind state, your emotional state, your relationships, your stability, whatever. But you will. It's like a universal law. And it's not a law because somebody says so, it's a law because we have observed that it happens all the time. We have observed this pattern, which is every time you accumulate lower, denser frequency and vibrations, it also works with higher frequency and vibrations, but it takes more time to accumulate, or it takes more time to transform, all right? But the mechanism, the event is the same, which is a lot of accumulation of a type of substance or different types of elements. What is important is the focusing on one place, okay? Fixed water, Scorpio, right? Fixed water being fixed on an emotional space, and then you bring a lot of different waters into that space. And because you are very fixed, you don't allow that space to expand, right? So, but more things keep coming in. So it augments the pressure, it augments the temperature, it augments the friction. You might get more aggressive, you might get more motivated, you might get more invested into something while you are experiencing moments of transformation, right? But then, because it's accumulating so much and creating so much heat within yourself, it then explodes, and that is the transformation. And then that's the moment where you might want to go to a more private place to understand, to not be and feel so exposed, because transformations are very important moments in our lives, right? And we want to make sure that we are always transforming in the right areas with the right people. That's why the 8th house, where Pluto co-rules Scorpio, it's very much associated as well with deep relationships, because before it's the 7th house, which is the house of relationships, and then you take the more personal and way more deep, way more meaningful and perhaps spiritual relationships into the 8th house, right? And then are the real relationships that you either share the moments where you transform, or you actually share the memories, that about some time that you transform, or you really share the moments as well. You go through the same scenario of transformation, or you go through different physical scenarios of transformation, but you can feel each other, you can see where each other is coming from, how that transformation transformed yourself in similar ways, even though it was in different physical attributes. All right? And then Pluto, basically Pluto is not like the other planets where it likes to be in a place or it doesn't like to be there. Pluto likes to be in every sign, because what Pluto does is basically a guaranteed thing. There is no bad way, there is no good way, there is no right way or wrong way to transform. Okay? The only wrong way of transforming is not transforming. And then you accumulate so much that the world, Pluto, the people around you, they transform you, and you get way more exposed and way more hurt. And that can become a traumatic memory, a traumatic moment, and create a lot of taboos, things that you feel very uncomfortable, or you literally don't speak or think about or communicate with others, and you feel very hurt when others talk about that. And it creates very deep insecurities and very deep generation curses. Because as Neptune and Uranus, Pluto is also a generational planet. It's not something that necessarily you have that specific trait, it's more generational. So Pluto represents the transformations, or how your age group that has the same Pluto sign as you has to bring. You have to be the agents of changing that specific way. Okay, so basically Pluto is more like how you are needed in the world in order to bring transformation, in order to really transform the world. Okay, so Pluto is not bad in any sign, because it's just like, oh, it's better for me and the people around me that came with me at the same time, generally speaking, generation, right? It's better for us to transform in this way, or it's better for me to relate with them, to introduce them, or to introduce myself as an agent of transformation in this way. If you have Pluto in Gemini, right? It's way easier, or it's better for you, or that's how you go through transformation most likely. It's when you associate and talk a lot about your personal interests when it comes to information, technology, and gadgets, right? If you have Pluto in Sag, it's all about sharing the testimonies of transformation. It's all about seeing the spiritual side, the bright side, and share that with others. It's all about being yourself, being very spiritual while connecting with others. And that might be weird, that might be very unstable, but by you transforming and accumulating a lot of experience and wisdom in that area, you will realize that you are being exactly what your world needs you to be as an agent of transformation. Okay? Because by you being born here, you're already a new thing. Your body, your mind is a new thing. Okay, so by default, you have to transform the world around you. Just because you are new. It's the same thing with Uranus, but on a deeper level. What's new always has to quote-unquote fight or have some friction at start with what was already there. And it's just to find the right places. It's just to find the right ratios, the balancing points. All right? And transformation is all about that. You transforming the world around you so you can have the best experiences possible. And then because it's a generational planet, it's not just about you. It's about all the spirits that chose to come here with you and they build the world with you. And that's why it's very important. So if you want to know more about your Pluto or your natal chart, I do natal chart readings and tarot readings as well. You can contact me on IG or via my Discord server, which you can find using the Linktree in the description down below, or you can send me an email to the email that is in the description down below as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you know more about Pluto and how powerful and important it is for you to be the Pluto, to put depth, to transform things into your life, so you can manifest and have more space for the better and newer things into your life. So until the next time, Esoteric Cloud Surfer, surfing out. See you soon.